Hey there, Magooshers, this is Ari. Did you know that you can request testing accommodations if you have a disability? If you have been diagnosed with a disability or believe that you should be, then you should investigate testing accommodations for the GMAT. The GMAT currently accommodates for the following: attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, aka ADHD, learning and cognitive disorders, physical and systemic disabilities, psychological disabilities, and sensory disabilities such as vision and hearing. In this video, we'll go over the request process using ADHD as an example. While you're here, don't forget to like the video if you find it helpful, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more content related to the GMAT. First, you'll need to share background information to help GMAC, aka the makers of the GMAT test, understand your unique history and current needs. This can be done in the form of a personal statement. Now, this is the perfect opportunity for you to share information from your own unique perspective. When you're drafting your personal statement, make sure that you describe how this disability is currently affecting you. How does it show when you're studying? How does it show when you are taking an exam? Or especially, how do you feel when you're taking a practice exam? You have to also keep in mind that your personal statement is not limited to academic settings. You can also talk about struggles in your work environment. You can describe past accommodations that you have been granted, other forms of support, or coping strategies that you have used in work settings. Tell a little bit of how this affects you in any other way, in social interactions or when you have to do a practical task, for example. For ADHD folks, some social struggles that are very common are cutting people off mid-conversation or talking so fast that people cannot understand you. Tell GMAC about your school performance. You can talk in detail about grades as early as elementary school, or you can describe your experience through college. Talking about college or your transition from high school to college, do you take any standardized tests? If so, were you granted accommodations for those tests? Also, you can explain your specific scores for each specific section for each of those standardized tests. Talk about your history if you received any accommodations in school prior to college or during college. If so, what kinds of accommodations were you granted and how did those help you succeed? Now, feel free to elaborate beyond academic performance and issues with your work environment. You can talk a little bit about yourself. You can talk about how many languages you speak, what languages you learned growing up. If you are a bookworm and you read a lot of books, that also gives more credibility to the case that you're putting forth. Tell them how often you use English in lectures, textbooks, and written assignments, and then explain the language that you use the most or on a regular basis in your current work. They will also need to review an evaluation that captures the nature and the severity of your symptoms and the associated impacts on tasks that are of clear relevance to the demands of the GMAT. This evaluation should be performed by a licensed clinical or educational psychologist or other comparably trained expert. In conclusion, in any academic setting, it is best practice to request test accommodations if you have a disability. This is all the way from class lectures to standardized testing. In this specific standardized test, aka the GMAT, there is a specific procedure to follow, so make sure that you read all the rules and that you have all the supporting documents. Your potential GMAT accommodations include additional testing time, additional or extended rest breaks, allowance of a medical device in the testing rooms, a trackball mouse, a reader who can read the test items to the test taker and record test taker responses, a recorder to record test taker responses, enlarged font on the PC monitor, or a sign language interpreter. You decide what accommodations benefits you and your needs best, and then request. Finally, if you have some doubts or you need some clarification, don't forget to visit the GMAC online website for details. And that is everything that I have for you today. If you found this helpful or if you have some questions that I can clarify for you, drop those in the comment box below. And don't forget to subscribe or drop a like if you want more content and tips for your study prep journey. See you later.